Real Talk Radio.
Start the party.
All right, so I'm just, people are asking me to do a show. People are asking me to do a show throughout this afternoon show. I decided I'm going to go ahead and do this. I wasn't going to do this today. Was going to wait over the weekend because my head is throbbing, man. This is what I don't get. Now, a lot of people are inspiring me on this topic because it seems like today most people are just gluttons for punishment. There's no other rational explanation. I cannot figure for the life of me why a person would continue down the same path, doing the same things over and over and over again, and act like they're in some kind of a stupor state of shock when the same result comes back around. Now, over the span of the last few months, I've had at least 11 females. All females, by the way. Now, I'm not being biased or anything like that. I'm just telling you the way it is. 11 come to me for relationship advice. Now, I don't know how all of a sudden I became like the kingpin of relationship advice, but apparently, it just is what it is. All the same story. It's all the same. It's a dude that treats her like shit. He's cheated on her. She thinks he's cheating on him. Smashes her phone, takes her money, takes her car without asking, stays out all night, and you just don't know what to think. Okay. Well, I could break down many different scenarios, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to stick to the main points here on this one because somehow I feel like it's not going to go anywhere anyway. But if you get into a relationship with somebody, first and foremost, you have to understand, people jump into relationships at the whim these days. A lot of people just get on like dating sites. They don't even know the person, never met the person, just meeting the person's front. And when they finally meet, they're so connected via having talked all the time, texting, sending pictures, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you end up with the opposite perspective. You're like, okay, wait a minute, this person is not who I thought they were. Well, that's because when you meet somebody for the first time, they're heavily guarded. Very rare are people just out in the open. How many relationships have you got into where you're a female, you meet this dude, he seems like he's a good guy, got a good job, blah, 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 he's well kept, this, and a week later, he's putting your head under the covers and blowing ass. I mean, dude, you don't get comfortable like that with people overnight. So, to those of you that get into a relationship and a month later you're living with that person and it goes south in the first week, and then you come to me for advice, you go back, you do the same thing, you come back for advice, you don't take it, you go back, you keep doing the same thing over and over. Look, I'm tired. We're about to have World War III, and y'all folks worried about your abusive men or your hood rat girlfriends or whatever the case may be. I got much more important things to talk about, but out of respect for people's wishes, I said I would do a show in the afternoon, so I did. There it is. There's the show. I'm not one for constantly patting folks on the back and being the shoulder to cry on and tell them it's going to be okay when I know damn well it's just going to be the same thing over and over again. It always is. It's never, ever, you get into a fight, okay? The guy says some horrible things, maybe even slap you around a little bit. Maybe, set your clothes on fire or keys your car or whatever the case may be. And this is a lot of stuff that's going on. I'm just generalizing it amongst 11 different females. But these are actual events that have taken place in these girls' lives. They come to me for advice. I give them the best advice I know to give them. What do? Well, things are much better now. No, you're not understanding. A person is not going to ultimately change their whole way of thinking, their attitude, how they feel on the inside, simply in a couple of days it took for you to be gone and regroup. All they do is they turn the heat down a little bit until the chance arises to turn the heat right back up. If the dude is a narcissist piece of shit, in one day, he's going to be into the next. It's going to happen more and more and more. People do not change overnight. Some people, it takes years and years and years to change. But one fight, you separate for a day or two, you go back, things are simmered down. Oh, it's so much better. Then you get on social media. He's the dream. He's this, he's that. 2 nights later, he's slapping the shit out of you, talking trash to your kids, stealing your car, taking off all the freaking with the rent money and going to buy dope with it. Yes, these things are actually happening amongst these females that I've talked to. But my advice is not valuable. I can point out the very obvious. Look, man, it is what it is. Just look. And I understand being in and being emotionally attached and involved. You're not going to see everything. You're not going to see all sides of the spectrum. But when you come to an outsider, I've heard the story. I've heard you out. I'm looking outside of the box. I can show you. Very few people have taken my advice, and the ones that have are like, damn, this whole time I could have been stuck with this crazy SOB for the rest of my life. Yeah, you could have. If you hadn't listened to me, you'd still be whining and crying every other day about what's going on in life, how you don't feel free, you feel like a prisoner, blah blah. Let me tell you something, man. People just need to calm down. I don't know why everybody wants to get into relationships just so fast anyway. I have seen several people change their relationship status 3-4 times within a month with different people. It's like, okay, I met the man of my dreams 2 days ago. We're going to go have Thanksgiving dinner with my family. Are you out of your damn mind? You're taking a total stranger whom you let... Never mind, I'm not going to go there. I'll stick to the point. You're letting a total stranger into your family's home, sitting at your family's table, totally clueless. You're just optimistic. You're totally clueless to how this person really is, how they're going to come out of their shell. Especially if you live with somebody, because when you live with somebody, like I said, the chick's not going to walk around the house blowing ass all day. That's going to take some time. You got to get into a serious complacency zone with somebody before anything like that starts to happen. I mean, seriously. As long as people are still in their security blanket, you're not getting the full effect of that other person. You can't know a person for a month, move in with them, and think you know their life story, how everything's going to play out. You have absolutely no idea. It's going to take a long time. And then when it finally hits home, you're so emotionally attached that you will accept being a freaking slave. You'll accept it. You'll defend it. I see it all the time. Cannot be argued. I see it all the time. There's no rhyme or reason for it, but it's all surrounding the same story. It's all the same scenario. It's like, this dude's the chick's cheating, blah, blah, dude's cheating. He's abusive, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive. He mistreats my kids. He doesn't work. All of this, it's just never ending. And here's my thing. Well, if you'd have kept them in the friendship zone for a good period of time, spent time together, talked, feel each other out, see how they think about certain things. See, I think the most important thing, and while I'm so quick to cast somebody away, and believe you me, I am. I'm not the kind of person that's just going to jump into a relationship. I was seeing a girl one time. We were seeing each other for a couple of months. We were hanging out. We were going out to eat, drinking together, watching movies, partying, just talking, consistently. And although I understand there was an emotional connection involved, it did not push me to want to just say, hey, let's go get a mortgage. Let's move in together. Let's get joint bank accounts and all that stupid crap. Hell no. No. I got way more to learn about a person before I make that kind of commitment. And that's just the kind of person I am. And I've been called a cold-hearted SOB for that because, I have feelings for you, but you don't have feelings for me. That's not even the issue. The issue is I don't know you well enough. I'm not going to make that kind of commitment so that I can put myself in a position because, let's face it, even if I went out and bought the house, If I go out and buy the house and I move you in with me, your kids in with me, whatever, after the first month, 6 months later, shit goes awry. You call the police on me because of something I said you don't like. The cops make me leave. Then you could go get a restraining order over a house that I'm paying for. Why in the hell would I put myself in that kind of position? And people are just crazy today anyway. I tell you what, here's my favorite thing to do. When I'm seeing a girl, if a girl is really emotional about her previous relationship, that's the one you want to pay attention to. You want to pay attention to that right there. Listen to how she talks. Listen to the things that she says. If she's constantly on the negative side, constantly bashing him, calling him this, calling him that, blah, 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 you're sitting there going, and you had nothing to do with this? This was all him? You were the perfect girlfriend? You never did anything wrong? He came home and beat you because you were wearing a skirt? Or, he comes home from a long day at the factory, tuna casserole, and just starts uppercutting you up against the wall, tying your kids up and starving them to death. I mean, I've heard the craziest stories of all, man. But, and it's like, what in the world ever blinded you to that type of person? I mean, can you not? I know what it is. It's because you met him at a bar. Y'all partied together. He had some good stories. He carried himself well. He put on this total front. The front you fell for 6 months later is no longer there. Now you don't know the person. Now you're like, this is not the person that I got with. No, it's not. It never was. It was a front that you were feeding on. See, people, they're all like, I keep it 100 all the time. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not when it comes. You see, now, you might keep it real with people that you have no emotional ties to, that you're not attracted to. You just don't care about what they think. But if you come across somebody that you're just like, oh, wow, this person right here, this chick is hot, or this dude is, smoking hot, whatever, you're not going to be your true self. You're not going to let completely loose out of the cage. You're not going to. You're going to filter yourself in any way, form, or fashion you can in order to impress this person because you want to keep them around. Like I said, you're not just going to walk up to some dude. He looks up at you. Y'all shake hands, exchange numbers. As he turns around, blows one right in your face. That would just be like, okay, I'm losing that number. It makes no sense. People don't take the time to get to know each other these days. It's all about social media connection. It's all about sending memes and funny pics and little jokes here and there. They go and they have a date or two, and then they decide, hey, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. Meanwhile, they have absolutely no clue about their past. Not everybody is 100% positive and honest about their past. You'll listen to people when they talk about their exes. It's always the ex's fault. Nothing they did ever warranted that kind of behavior. And I don't advocating hitting women. I don't believe in hitting women at all. But if the dude came home and slapped you around a few times and you stayed, that's your fault. That's on you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but for you little females out there playing the victim's role, you're doing it to yourself. Every single time the dude mistreats you and you get mad and you walk off, you come back, everything is cool for a minute, then he goes back to it again, you walk off. I mean, how many times do you really have to do that? How many times do you have to put your hand on a lit stove before you realize it burnt the hell out of you? I mean, seriously, do you keep doing it over and over and over again? Of course you do, especially in relationships. That's the one thing. People claim that, oh, well, you do me wrong, shame on you. You do me wrong twice, shame on me. They say these kind of things, but then they're treated like complete garbage by their significant others all the time. And then they come up with stupid reasons to stay. Well, it's for the kids. That's the dumbest reason I could ever think of to remain in a toxic relationship, for the sake of the kids. Why? So they can watch you and him or whatever, bicker back and forth and hate each other and slander each other and call each other names, and this is the kind of relationship they have to look forward to when they grow up? No, that's not even a good influence. That is so far left thinking. It's unbelievable that you stay together for the sake of the kids. Yeah, okay, this dude beats their asses, but you do it for their sake. Okay. It couldn't possibly be that you're just an emotionally controlled moron that doesn't have the foresight to see the end from the beginning. I mean, everybody is going to have their ups and downs. I get that. I get the fact that every relationship holds ups and downs. I understand that. That's just part of it. But there has to come at some point where it's not really ups and downs. It's you're catching this dude on a bad day. He's mad as hell at you. He's gonna kick your ass if you say anything. Or she's constantly going out to the clubs and doing all this and doing that. And you find out she's got all these dudes' numbers, but you want to hang around. It doesn't, I don't understand. See, I have such low tolerance to bullshit. I literally, after 2 months of dating a girl, told her, that's it. You got to go. Done deal. I can't. I'm not going to put myself through this. I went through one bad relationship. One bad one. And I'm talking, when I say bad, I mean bad. And that's all it took for me. That's all it took for me. From that point forward, I look strictly for specifically, I look for red flags. If I see a red flag, I'm going to pay close attention to it. I'm going to back up and just ease up and watch things play out, how this person reacts to certain things, listen to what they talk about. That's how you get to know somebody. You don't know a person by meeting them. You don't know. I mean, we all start out as complete strangers, but when you just crack the door a little bit, that doesn't mean you get the full effect of that individual. It's common sense. I don't even know why I'm talking about this right now. It makes no sense to me at all while I'm continuing to rant on this. The more emails I get, in any advice that I'm not even responding to those emails anymore. That's exactly why I'm doing this right now, in hopes that you guys are listening to it, so that maybe you'll get the full effect of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not telling you to be cold and heartless. I'm telling you to be a little bit more patient. Be patient for once. You can't. There's absolutely no need whatsoever to join in and act like you're married, and even say you're married. On Facebook. Well, I'm engaged. You're engaged. You just met the dude a month ago. How the hell are you engaged? Oh, well, he's the one. And And these are the kind of people that I end up talking to consistently. And it's gotten to the points where I'm just like, look. This is not my platform. This is not my plug. I'm not going to keep dishing out the same advice to the same people, knowing damn well it's going to go through one ear and out the other. It's stupid. And I'm not an asshole to the points where I'm going to start blasting these people. I'm not going to do that. I know I said I was going to do it at one point in time, but I wouldn't do anything like that. I can't blame a person for being emotionally controlled, because most people are, and that's really, really sad. I mean, hell, it's even gotten as far as political issues. People start passing legislations because they're upset about something, but they don't take the time to think about what they're doing before they do it. They just do it. And that, plays a big role in why our country's so messed up. Like the shooting, for example. The day of, they're already calling for legislations to be passed because they're shocked, they're sad, they're this, that, and another, but they're not taking the time to actually evaluate the situation. They're not taking the time to see the end result of what they're asking to do. No one does it anymore. It's like everybody's on a whim. Everybody's like, boom, that's it. And they jump into whatever, just blindly jump into it without even looking at the overall possibilities of the overall repercussions. No, they don't. And this is why people often fall on their faces. I'll never understand a species that claims to be so smart, so on top of everything, yet two things. One, we react on impulse without thinking. Most people, for the most part, too. Second, we're the only species under God that willingly puts smoke into our lungs, willingly puts toxins in our bodies. We're not that damn smart of a species. I'm just saying. And it's becoming evident. And I love using the relationship thing because it's so like, I think everybody had this false idea, what they call the hopeless romantics, that you're going to meet the person and you're going to look into each other's eyes and instantly it's just love. And you read those romance books and you watch those Notebook movies and stuff like that. And you're like, that's what I want in my life. No, you don't. The movie The Notebook, did you ever really actually watch the movie? Yes. Okay, yeah, I did watch the movie The Notebook, okay? I was in a relationship at the time. The girl wants to watch it. By God, we're going to watch it. I'm not a chick flick kind of dude, but if she wants to watch it and have some popcorn and a beer, yeah, whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. Whatever makes you happy, But you ever watch the movie The Notebook? The dude was on a constant struggle chasing this chick all over the damn place. She kept coming and going, it's like Forrest Gump and Jenny. I mean, she just kept burning off. And then this dude's dumb enough to stick around and take the shit. I mean, what are you going to wait for them to do? Get too old to go out and act like that anymore? And then, you spend 7-8 years, waiting for that to come around. Meanwhile, you could have had something way better had you just been a little bit more patient. But I don't know. I'll never understand people, man. They jump into things blindly. It's hilarious. And then when things go bad or go sour, they don't know how to react. And they're damn sure not going to take your advice. I mean, I've even had people say, yep, see, I've been telling her that. Everybody's told her that. Well, look, if one person tells you something, it's feasible, to take into consideration that that's just the opinion of one person. But when multiple people are trying to tell you, the dude's right. He's pointing it out, and you deep down know it is, but you still put up a struggle to accept it. So then you forcefully put yourself back into that situation. You get back on social media. You're talking about he's the love of your life, when just yesterday he was the biggest piece of shit ever walked the face of the earth. Today he's the love of your life. How long do you think that's going to last before the water starts to boil again? Seriously. Can you see now why I'm getting just a little irritated? I'm not mad. I'm just irritated. I'm irritated the fact that it's mostly the same people. It's mostly the same people that have done this repeatedly. And then they come back to me. Well, I seriously thought he was the one. Well, why would you think that? Well, because when we first got together, boom, right there. When we first got together, guess what? You're not living in the time you first got together. You're learning about who this guy or girl really is. You're not, you didn't just, accidentally, like somebody came in and some demon got into this person all of a sudden and turned into this completely different individual. No, that's not the case at all. The case is that you never took the time to learn what you was getting yourself into. Now you're in it and you don't want to get out. And then you blame others. You blame the other person, but you don't blame yourself for continuing to allow being mistreated. It's hilarious. I mean, it's sad, but it's hilarious at the same time, because I get to stand there with a level of self-vindication saying, I told you so. You're gonna listen to me one day. One day you'll listen. And I understand, again, there's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect man, no perfect woman. But for God's sakes, there has to be a certain level of mutual respect in a relationship in order for it to continue. It can't be a one-way street. Everybody says, all the females, I don't want a real man to take control. No, you don't. You don't want a real man to take control. You may want a real man to take control in the bedroom, but you do not want a real man to run your life in the house. I promise you that. Because you're in a few months after it, you're going to start to feel like a victim. You're going to start to feel like, an enclosed, hidden secret. Dude wants to go out and make all the money. Guess what that means? He makes the money. He calls the shots. You stay at home. You clean. You make sure the kids get to school. You become the Donna Reed of the new millennium. And guess what happens after that? What happens? Same thing over and over and over again. I just don't understand it, man. For years, women fought to be independent. For years, they fought for the right to vote, for the right to be on their own, the right to get the same pay wage and things like that. But they steadily want to surrender themselves to other fucking people. I don't get it. I know I may have a dark and twisted way of looking at things, but it's just, it is what it is, man. I've gotten at least 11 emails over the past 3 days, probably more than that, 11 that I've actually read, of all this kind of crazy stuff, man. Like, I just can't believe this person turned out to be the person they are. Well, how long you been together? About a month. Yeah. Well, a month is kind of like not enough time to get to know somebody. I don't know. It's just people. People do the dumbest shit. Then they wonder why things just... No, my logic doesn't suck. My logic is very common sense. Very common sense. And, I understand we don't have common sense anymore. It's uncommon sense. No, the picker. That's stupid. Now, that's stupid logic right there. Your picker's broke. Well, if it's just me, then why is it happening to so many people? If my logic is twisted and it doesn't make any sense and it sucks, why does it continue to happen to everybody? It continues all the time, and I get to hear about it. So all that tells me is obviously I had a pretty damn good point. I'm not cynical. I have common sense. I can sit down and listen to a person's story. Listen just all day, about this, that, or another. And then when I say, okay, well, maybe the reason this is happening is because you went about things this way, or you went about things that way, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't ever hit home. No, I'm far from living in a box. If I was living in a box, people wouldn't be coming to me left and right. People know I see. Anyway, it is what it is. This is one episode I wasn't going to hone in on and spend a lot of time with. So, you guys take care. Have a blessed afternoon. Got a very busy Saturday ahead of me. And don't forget to tune in to Real Talk Radios with Dan Lane's Metal Mayhem Saturday night. It's going to be a kick-ass show. Hope to see you all there. Download that Spreaker app. Get into the live chat. Have a good one.
Real Talk Radio.